There's a light that bends differently here. Not the desert sun alone, but something older, stranger, a kind of shimmer braided into time itself. It ripples across freeway glass at golden hour. It hovers in marine fog above the palms. It flickers between dream and memory. In a city where nothing is entirely real, yet everything insists it once was, Los Angeles doesn't arrive. It drifts into you. You feel it in the hush of jacaranda petals falling on pavement, in the howl of a coyote behind a soundstage wall, in the sudden stillness between sirens, as if the whole city inhales and holds its breath, just long enough for you to forget where you are, and then it speaks. Welcome to Los Angeles, a city of myth and muscle, velvet and rust. Here, oceans meet freeways like lovers who once made promises. Here, stars die above diners and are reborn in billboards. In 1781, a caravan of settlers arrived from Mexico. Families, soldiers, and children, guided by a single phrase, El pueblo de nuestra señora la reina de Los Angeles. The town of Our Lady, Queen of the Angels. What they built was not Hollywood, but adobe orchard, altar. What they carried was not fame, but faith and drought and centuries of longing. You can still feel their footsteps near the river, still hear them in the bells of old mission walls. Even now, beneath the roar of neon and film reels, there's an older city whispering upward through the cracks. So walk gently, speak kindly. The ghosts here wear sunglasses, but they are listening. Morning mist clings to the strand like memory, soft and reluctant to lift. Waves murmur in foamy repetition. Gulls circle in lazy spirals. And the sun, still low, paints the edges of surfboards in molten gold. Welcome to Manhattan Beach. Here, the Pacific doesn't shout. It whispers. A gentler coastline where volleyball nets sway in wind, and barefoot joggers trace the rhythm of the tides. Locals greet the day like a ritual, coffee in hand, gaze fixed westward, as if waiting for the horizon to answer something unspoken. This place began as a vision sold for sand. Literally, in the early 1900s, developers peddled oceanfront lots by shipping sand inland for construction. Manhattan Beach exported its very skin to build Los Angeles. Grains of this shore now live beneath the city's foundations. The city, in turn, left its skyline behind and grew skyward without it. But what remains here is sacred in its simplicity, a pier that stretches gently into the sea. Not bold, but certain, a finger pointed toward nowhere in particular. Underneath it, surfers wait like monks, silent in their anticipation, reading waves like scripture. The air smells of salt and suntan lotion, and something older, seaweed, brine, wind-tossed driftwood. Children dig toward China with plastic shovels. Fishermen lean on rails, telling stories only the tide believes. And when the sun begins to set, the town exhales. You'll notice how people linger, not rushing, not retreating, as if the golden light might bless them if they stay still long enough. There's a lesson in that, to slow down, to notice the curl of a wave, to let the day arrive without agenda. If you come, bring humility, speak softly, pack what you need, and leave only what belongs. Footprints, laughter, the occasional wish cast out to sea. The ocean forgets everything except the feeling. And that is what Manhattan Beach remembers. There's a roar here that doesn't come from the ocean. It rises from wheels slicing concrete, from cheers thrown into air thick with sea salt and spray paint, from music somewhere between funk and fury, pulsing out of a Bluetooth speaker propped beside a half-empty water bottle. Welcome to Venice Beach Skatepark, a stage carved into sand, where gravity becomes a game and flight is a choice. In this sun-scoured arena, skaters move like dancers caught in a ritual velocity. They drop into bowls with a kind of reckless grace. Shoulders loose, jaws tight, defying rules and bones and gravity itself. And all around them, an audience forms. Tourists with cameras, kids with dreams, old-timers with tattoos faded like memories. Everyone drawn to this moving cathedral, where the sermon is movement and the language is risk. Venice has always belonged to the rebels. Founded by Abbot Kinney in 1905, it was once called the Venice of America, complete with canals and gondolas. But even Kinney, a cigarette magnate turned utopian, couldn't have foreseen this asphalt sanctuary. By the 70s, the beach had become a canvas for skate culture, its concrete call answered by barefoot pioneers, who carved poetry into drained pools and alleyways. Today's skaters inherit that spirit, not just tricks, but a kind of sacred defiance, a refusal to disappear. You can feel it in the grit that clings to their hands, the way they rise after each fall, as if the ground itself isn't final. If you visit, bring reverence, not spectacle. Don't crowd the edge with your lens. Let the skaters fall and fly, without turning them into spectacle. This is church. Respect the altar. And when the wind picks up, carrying the clang of trucks and the hiss of wheels down the boardwalk, listen closely. It's not just sound, it's testimony, and Venice never lies. There is a sweetness to the air here, not sugar, but salt and carousel music and sunscreen. It gathers near the Pacific Park Ferris wheel, spins with the laughter of children, and floats down the pier like a secret trying to be kept. Welcome to Santa Monica, where the edge of land curves into something softer, and time doesn't vanish, it strolls. Beneath your feet, the pier creaks like an old memory. Fishermen drop their lines without urgency. Couples lean against railings, as pelicans trace wide arcs overhead, and a busker plays something so wistful, you'll forget you don't know the words. This place was once sacred Tombaland, a gathering ground long before the trains and turnstiles. Even the name Santa Monica is born of a spring, one that wept continuously, like St. Monica's tears for her son. Water and sorrow intertwined since the beginning, yet now joy lingers too. Down by the muscle beach rings, bodies twist skyward in acts of strength and surrender. Just beyond, the promenade pulses with cafe clatter and light. But the true magic happens when you face west. At sunset, the entire city turns to golden fire. And for a moment, no matter who you are, how long you've wandered, or what you've lost, the ocean says, you are welcome here. If you come, don't just see. Feel the history in the planks of the pier. Feel the horizon as it exhales. And if your heart is heavy, Let the waves hold it for a while. Santa Monica remembers what it means to be held. Up here, the city lies still, as if pausing mid-breath beneath the sky's slow turning. Griffith Observatory watches it all, its white dome catching the last light like a prophet's eye, its quiet corridors humming with the gravity of stars, and all around it, silence, broken only by wind, by footsteps, by the rustle of cypress in the dusk. Welcome to Griffith Observatory, a place not just to look out, but to look up. Below, Los Angeles sprawls, chaotic infinite, a circuitry of desire and freeway. But here, the sky is the map, and Orion returns without asking permission. The observatory was a gift. Colonel Griffith J. Griffith, a man made of contradictions, philanthropist, felon, visionary, dreamed of a public space where anyone, rich or poor, could gaze upon the cosmos. Since 1935, it has opened its doors to wanderers, lovers, scientists, and the quietly lost, all drawn by the strange comfort of starlight. The Zeiss telescope has shown Saturn's rings to thousands. You might see a teenager gasp at the moons of Jupiter. You might hear a child whisper, "Is that really Mars?" And above you, the universe will not answer, but it will shine. From this perch in the Hollywood Hills, the city seems small, as if folded neatly beneath sky and mountain. And in that smallness, a kind of peace. If you walk the trail at twilight, you might see a deer or a distant coyote waiting at the edge of the wild. Here, wilderness still clings to the corners of the city, quiet and watching. If you come gently, bring a jacket. The air cools quickly here, and let yourself be still beneath the stars. Let her return without shame. And if you ask the sky a question, don't wait for the answer. The silence is enough. Redondo doesn't announce itself. It arrives in rhythm, in the crash and hush of surf, in the slow procession of pelicans over the pier, in the quiet laughter of friends sharing tacos by the boardwalk. Welcome to Redondo Beach, a crescent of coast less frantic than its northern cousins, where the days stretch long and gentle, and the salt in the air feels like a cure. This was once the end of the road. Literally, in the late 1800s, it was a port city, its wharf filled with lumber and salt, its trains arriving with oranges and promise. But when the harbor moved, Redondo faded into quiet, not forgotten, just spared. Now it hums at its own tempo. Fishermen still tend lines at dawn. Locals greet the morning with paddleboards and coffee. And every evening, the sky peels open like a ripe peach. If you go, wander the horseshoe-shaped pier. Listen to the gulls bicker over crusts of bread. Watch the sea lions lounge beneath the docks. Grunting, blinking, half asleep. Redondo doesn't ask for attention. It gives you space. To breathe. To remember what stillness feels like. To forget who you thought you needed to be. So come as you are. Stay as long as the tide allows. Some places heal by doing nothing at all. It doesn't glitter. It doesn't flash. It doesn't make a sound. But still, the world turns its gaze here to a hillside of sun-bleached letters, spelling out a dream too big for silence. Welcome to the Hollywood sign. White, stark, and solemn against the chaparral hills. It watches the city like a rumor half-believed. From far away, it seems eternal. Up close, it's just metal, rivets, rust. But that's the trick. The myth lives in the distance. The sign began not as symbol, but as sales pitch. Hollywoodland, a 1923 real estate ad, strung across the hills in giant white letters. Intended to last just 18 months. It never left, because by then, the dream had already taken root. Celluloid gods, backlit kingdoms, silver screen shadows, so vivid they swallowed the sun. And behind the letters, stories that don't get told. Peg Entwistle was one, a Broadway actress with eyes full of light. She came west chasing roles that never arrived. In 1932, she climbed the sign scaffolding and stepped off the H. They found a note in her purse. I'm afraid I'm a coward, but still the sign stands, not to mock her dream, but to hold it with all its weight and wonder. Today, hikers trace dusty switchbacks to its flanks. Pausing to breathe, and more than just a view, you'll see lovers holding hands, solo walkers in quiet thought, a city below like a spilled constellation. If you go, bring water, respect the fences, honor the stories this hill has swallowed, and when you reach the top, don't just take a photo, take a moment, whisper your own dream into the wind. The sign is listening. Malibu isn't a place. It's a breath you didn't know you were holding, released slowly into sea air and silence. Welcome to Malibu, a thin ribbon of road curves between cliff and ocean. And here, everything slows. The Pacific stretches endless, deep blue and knowing. Waves break in deliberate rhythm, as if the coastline itself remembers something sacred. Long before mansions and surf breaks, this was Chumash land, a place called Himalaya. The surf sounds loudly. They lived in rhythm with the tides, crafting canoes from redwood, reading the moon's pull like scripture. That rhythm is still here. You'll find it at El Matador, where sea caves whisper an echo. You'll feel it at Point Dumais, where wildflowers bloom defiantly over sandstone cliffs. Malibu is not for rushing. Even the ocean waits here. If you visit, leave early. Let the fog greet you like an old friend. Watch dolphins arc in morning light. Eat simply. Walk softly. And when the sun begins to sink, stay. Let the day dissolve into salt and shadow. Let the sound of the waves remind you that beauty never hurries, but always arrives. The cliffs here don't rise. They lean, as if listening to the ocean speak in low, endless phrases. Welcome to Rancho Palos Verdes, where land surrenders to sea in abrupt beauty, and the edge of California feels impossibly ancient. Waves hammer stone, pelicans dive like arrows, and somewhere between sky and salt, the air becomes holy. This isn't the Los Angeles of dreams. No billboards, no sound stages. Just rugged coastline and silence broken only by wind. Long before Spanish explorers named it Green Sticks Ranch, the Tongva lived atop these cliffs, A people who watch stars rise from the sea. Their stories are still held in the sandstone, their memory etched into the shape of the hills, and the land remembers loss. 2. In 1929, Portuguese Ben began to slip. A landslide, slow, relentless, caused by careless development atop unstable earth. Even now, roads buckle like old bones. Houses sink inch by inch into the waiting soil. Nature doesn't forget. It forgives slowly. But beauty blooms in the reckoning. At Wayfarer's Chapel, a glass church designed by Frank Lloyd Wright's son, sunlight filters through redwoods and windows, as if heaven is simply light made visible. Couples whisper vows while the Pacific listens. If you come, bring stillness. Park at Abalone Cove. Follow the trail to tide pools glistening with sea stars and anemone. Let your feet remember stone. Let your eyes learn distance. Rancho Palos Verdes offers nothing for sale. Only sky, sea, and the patience of cliffs. Come without hurry. Leave without proof. What matters will stay with you. Here, fantasy and reality fold into each other. A place where stories are built brick by brick, and dreams are packaged for eager hands. Welcome to Universal Studios Hollywood. More than a theme park, it's a monument to the magic and machinery of movie making, where illusion is both art and labor. Founded in 1912 as a working studio, it's the birthplace of monsters and heroes, chases and romances that flicker across silver screens worldwide. The lot has seen stars rise and fall, and the echo of cameras clicking still lingers in the air. Step carefully along the cobblestones of the backlit, where facades shift like mirages. You might glimpse a western town, then turn a corner to find a bustling city street, all within the same breath. In the water show, models of Jaws and King Kong still terrify, reminding visitors that even illusions carry weight. But beyond the rides and the spectacle, there is a quiet story of craftsmen and artists who build worlds from scratch, who paint light and shadow with meticulous care, who labor in the shadows to make magic visible. If you come, bring curiosity and a willingness to look beyond the bright lights. Respect the workers who make wonder happen. And remember, every story here began with a single frame, a flicker of faith in the impossible. Universal doesn't just show you a world, it asks you to believe in one. Beverly Hills whispers in a language of palms and privilege, its streets lined with secrets beneath manicured hedges. Welcome to Beverly Hills, a city sculpted by wealth and aspiration, where every facade gleams like a carefully polished story. Luxury and leisure fold into one another here, and yet, beneath the gloss, there are tales that shimmer with quiet humanity. In the 1900s, Beverly Hills was just a bean field, one of many in the sprawling valley. But the discovery of oil beneath its soil was only the beginning. Soon, movie stars found refuge here, escaping the chaos of Hollywood studios, to build private world behind gates and gardens. There's a story not often told, the struggle of the gardeners, chauffeurs, and nannies who made this paradise possible, their labor weaving the invisible threads beneath velvet ropes. They lived lives parallel to the glitter, often unseen but indispensable. Walk the palm-lined streets slowly. Notice the ironwork on the gates, the subtle curves of Mediterranean villas, the scent of citrus in the evening air. If you are lucky, you'll hear a distant piano drifting from a mansion or catch a glimpse of a gardener pausing in the shade. Beverly Hills is not just a place of privilege. It's a mosaic of stories, of dreams built and dreams deferred. If you visit, carry respect in your steps. Remember that beauty is not always what it seems. Behind every gate is a story waiting to be heard. And sometimes, the quietest voices carry the deepest truths. Hollywood Boulevard is a mosaic of light and shadow, where dreams glitter and decay in equal measure. Welcome to Hollywood Boulevard. The sidewalks here are stars, literally etched in brass and concrete. Each one a story, a life, a flicker of fame. The air hums with echoes of old movie premieres, of ragged fans clutching autographs, of the relentless chase for the next big thing. But beneath the glitz lies a different rhythm. Walk past the theaters and souvenir shops, and you'll find pockets of quiet resilience. Homeless poets with stories deeper than the Walk of Fame stars. Street artists painting dreams on cracked walls, and the persistent pulse of a city that refuses to sleep. The historic Egyptian and Chinese theaters stand sentinel, their ornate facades telling tales of Hollywood's golden age. Here, legends once walked the red carpet, their footsteps captured forever in cement. Yet even the brightest lights cast long shadows. In the 1970s, Hollywood Boulevard was a refuge for counterculture, but also a place where many were forgotten. Street vendors, performers, and drifters made this their stage, living in the cracks between fame and oblivion. If you visit, look closely, not just at the stars beneath your feet, but at the lives woven between neon signs and movie marquees. Respect the city's contradictions, its glamour and grit, its promise and its pain. Hollywood Boulevard is not just a destination. It is a story still being written by every footstep, every whispered dream, every quiet survival. Elysian Park is a breath held between city and sky, a quiet sanctuary perched above the noise. Welcome to Elysian Park. Here, ancient oaks spread their limbs wide, casting dappled shadows over trails worn soft by generations. The scent of sage and wildflowers lingers, carried on the breeze like a whispered prayer. This park is one of Los Angeles' oldest, a place where the Tongva once walked, where wild animals roamed freely, and the land itself seemed infinite. Today, hikers and families wander these paths, seeking shade, solitude, or a glimpse of the city sprawl below. From here, the skyline is a distant promise, softened by haze and the curve of hills. There's a story here of resilience. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, the park was a lifeline. Its trails built by workers seeking hope through labor. Its green spaces a refuge from hardship. If you come, tread softly. Bring water and respect. Pause beneath the trees. Let the quiet settle into you. For a moment, the city's roar fades, and all that remains is the pulse of the earth. Calabasas lies folded into the Santa Monica Mountains, a quiet place where valley and ridge meet in a whispered embrace. Welcome to Calabasas. Here, life moves to the rhythm of rustling oaks and winding roads, where the past lingers beneath modern facades, and the present feels measured, deliberate, long before the gated communities and sprawling estates. This land was home to the Chumash people, whose footprints still mark the hills and creek beds. They lived in harmony with the wild, harvesting acorns, weaving baskets, honoring the cycles of sun and rain. Today, Calabasas is a mosaic of nature and nurture. Protected preserves give way to quiet neighborhoods, while the scent of eucalyptus drifts through the air, carried on a breeze that knows the secrets of these hills. A lesser-known chapter is the story of the Satwewa Native American Indian Culture Center, where visitors can learn of ancient traditions, where language, dance, and craft are kept alive in the face of time's tide. If you visit, take the time to hike the trails that trace the ridges, to listen for birdsong and the rustle of deer and chaparral. Leave your phone behind if you can. Let the quiet speak. Calabasas is a place that asks you to slow, to remember that even in growth, roots run deep. And here, between earth and sky, you might just find a moment of peace. Glendale is a city stitched quietly into the foothills, a crossroads where history hums beneath layers of modern life. Welcome to Glendale. Here, the streets curve gently, lined with jacarandas that bloom in violet bursts, and the scent of fresh coffee drifts from neighborhood cafes. It's a place where old meets new, arts and industry, immigrants and longtime locals, woven into a tapestry both complex and warm. Glendale's story stretches back to the Tongva and Batavian peoples, but it's also a city shaped by waves of Armenian immigrants, whose culture now beats at the heart of its neighborhoods. Markets brim with spices and stories. Church bells ring in ancient tongues, and festivals light the streets with color and music. Among the lesser-known tales is the 1913 effort to build the Glendale Hyperion Bridge, a project that transformed travel and connection, symbolizing a city always reaching beyond its borders. Walk the shaded paths of Brand Park. Visit the historic Forest Lawn Cemetery, where marble angels stand silent vigil over artists and actors, and feel the pulse of a city proud of its roots and reaching forward. If you visit, bring an open heart. Taste the food, hear the languages, and honor the layers that make Glendale whole. Because here, every street corner is a story waiting to be told. Echo Park is a pulse beneath the city's beat, a place where water and wildness linger close to concrete. Welcome to Echo Park, centered around its shimmering lake. The neighborhood hums with stories layered like sediment of artists and activists, musicians and dreamers, all drawn to this corner of Los Angeles for its raw, restless energy. The park itself was born from the waterworks of the 19th century, a reservoir transformed into a green heart by a community seeking connection. Now, pedal boats drift lazily across the surface, and lotus flowers float like quiet lanterns. But beneath the calm, there is history. In the 1920s and 30s, Echo Park was home to a thriving jazz scene, where legends like Duke Ellington and Billie Holiday played in smoky clubs. It was a place of refuge and rebellion, where music spilled from doors and windows, writing an unwritten soundtrack to the city's evolution. Walk the streets, and you'll find murals that sing stories in color, coffee shops where poets still gather, and a spirit that refuses to be tamed. If you come, bring curiosity. Sit by the lake at sunset and listen to the water, to the city, to the voices that echo still. Echo Park isn't just a place, it's a feeling. The Hollywood Reservoir is a quiet eye in the city's pulse, a stretch of water cradled by hills and homes, where time seems to fold softly into itself. Welcome to Hollywood Reservoir. Here, the surface mirrors sky and tree alike, its stillness broken only by the occasional ripple wind, or the graceful arc of a heron taking flight, surrounded by eucalyptus and oak. This hidden gem is a refuge from the city's relentless hum. The reservoir was created in the early 1920s, a vital part of Los Angeles' water system, carrying the lifeblood of a growing metropolis. But it also holds stories less told, of the land before the dam, when creeks ran wild and the Tongva people walked these canyons. On quiet mornings, you might see joggers tracing a loop, walkers pausing in thoughtful silence, and dogs splashing at the water's edge. A few brave swimmers slip beneath the surface in secret, though the reservoir is officially off limits. There's a stillness here that invites reflection, a chance to feel the city's heartbeat slow. If you come, walk gently around the trail, notice the way sunlight filters through leaves, and let yourself breathe. The reservoir is a reminder, even in a city that never stops, there are moments held in quiet water. Royce Hall stands as a quiet monument to knowledge, its twin towers rising like ancient sentinels, guarding the pulse of thought and art. Welcome to Royce Hall. Nestled on the campus of UCLA, this iconic building blends Romanesque revival architecture with a spirit of inquiry that has echoed for nearly a century. Inside, the halls have heard the voices of scholars, poets, and musicians, each adding their own thread to the tapestry of ideas. Completed in 1929, Royce Hall was inspired by northern Italy's Basilica di San Ambrogio, its arches and columns crafted with meticulous care. The building has survived earthquakes and change, its walls whispering stories of resilience and transformation. Many may not know that during World War II, the hall was repurposed for military training and planning, a hidden chapter beneath its scholarly facade. Now, it returns to its original purpose, a beacon for art and intellect. If you visit, take a moment to sit on the steps, watch students pass by with books and dreams in their hands. Listen for faint strains of music or the murmur of debate drifting through open windows. There's a weight here, not heavy but profound. Royce Hall is more than stone and mortar. It is a sanctuary for the restless mind, a place where curiosity is both welcome and required. Marina Del Rey is a gentle breath of salt and wind, a quiet harbor where boats drift lazily beneath a soft sky. Welcome to Marina Del Rey. This man-made marina, born in the 1960s, was designed to cradle 1,000 yachts and dreams, transforming mudflats into a playground of sails and shimmering reflections. The water laps softly against docks lined with cafes and palm trees, a serene contrast to the city's frenetic heart. But beneath this calm surface, history runs deep. Long ago, this was part of the Ballona wetlands, a vast ecosystem teeming with birds and fish, where the Tomba people fished and gathered. The transformation into marina altered the land irrevocably, a reminder of the delicate balance between nature and progress. Today, sailors launch with the breeze, fishermen cast hopeful lines, and visitors stroll along promenades watching pelicans dive. If you visit, arrive early when the light is soft, and the marina feels like a secret kept just for you. Listen for the gentle clinking of rigging, the occasional call of a seagull, and the quiet song of the water moving in rhythm. Marina Del Rey holds a simple promise, a place to pause, to watch the world glide by on waves. The Hollywood Hills rise like a jagged spine above the city, wild and unruly, a place where nature still stakes its claim amid the urban sprawl. Welcome to the Hollywood Hills. Here, winding roads snake through chaparral and oak, and the air carries the scent of sage and distant pine. Homes perch precariously on steep slopes, each with a story, sometimes whispered, sometimes shouted, hidden behind gates, gardens, and ancient trees. The hills are a refuge for dreamers and seekers alike. They hold secrets of old Hollywood, of stars who came to disappear, of writers who chase solitude, of musicians whose melodies still haunt canyon shadows. But beneath the glamour lies the pulse of the land itself. The area sits atop the Hollywood Fault, a reminder that beneath beauty there is unrest. Fire, drought, and tremors are part of the story here. Nature's way of reminding us that we are guests, and this earth demands respect. In the early 20th century, movie studios sought these hills for their views and privacy, making them a playground for the industry's elite. Yet, for all its glitz, the Hollywood Hills remain wild at heart, a place where coyotes roam at dusk, and the sky spills stars brighter than the city below. If you visit, bring patience and humility. Drive slowly on narrow roads. Stop and listen to the wind in the trees. Look up at the stars, at the hills, at the silent watchmen who keep this place. The Hollywood Hills hold a promise that even in the city's noise, there is wildness waiting to be heard. Pacific Park is a carnival of light and laughter perched on the edge of the Pacific, where the salt air mingles with the scent of popcorn and dreams. Welcome to Pacific Park. The pier creaks beneath feet eager for thrill, and the Ferris wheel turns slowly against a sky often painted with sunset hues. Here, childhood and nostalgia entwine with the ocean's endless whisper, creating a place both timeless and fleeting. Since 1996, Pacific Park has drawn visitors from near and far. Its rides and games a soundtrack of joy and daring. But beneath the bright bulbs and cheerful music, there's a rhythm that echoes older stories. Long before the park, the Santa Monica Pier was a humble fishing spot, a gateway between land and sea. The pier's transformation mirrors the city itself, ever-changing, yet rooted in a sense of community and wonder. On summer evenings, couples hold hands atop the Ferris wheel. Children squeal on the carousel, and the ocean sings its steady song beneath. If you visit, slow down. Let the light catch your eye. Taste the salt on the breeze. And for a moment, let yourself believe in magic, not the kind made in studios, but the kind born from laughter and light. Pacific Park is a place where joy is simple. A carousel spinning into the dusk, a wave breaking just right, and a city's heartbeat kept steady by the sea. Pasadena unfolds like a storybook, its streets lined with history and hidden gardens. Welcome to Pasadena, a city where old-world charm meets California sun, where craftsman homes nestle beneath towering palms, and boulevards hum with quiet elegance. Pasadena grew from the vision of settlers in the 19th century. Their dreams carried on the gentle Arroyo Seco, a stream that still threads through parks and trails today. The city blossomed with the arrival of the railroad, becoming a haven for artists, scientists, and visionaries. Its lesser-known tale is the Tournament of Roses, started in 1890 by local residents who wanted to share their beauty with the world, a tradition now famous for its floral pageantry and the Rose Parade. Walk through Old Town, where brick sidewalks lead past boutiques and cafes, or visit the Huntington Library's gardens, a sanctuary of rare books and blooming camellias. If you visit, breathe in the air of possibility. Sit beneath a jacaranda tree in spring. Listen for the song of songbirds, and let Pasadena's calm spirit wrap around you like a soft shawl. Pasadena reminds us that beauty is often found in the quiet unfolding of a day. Pershing Square pulses at the heart of downtown, a patch of green stitched between steel and glass towers. Welcome to Pershing Square. For over a century, this park has been a crossroads, a place of gathering, protest, celebration, and rest. Its concrete paths carry echoes of jazz musicians, workers on break, and footsteps of thousands seeking refuge. Named after General John Pershing, the square has weathered many seasons, from the Great Depression's hardships to the recent revival of downtown's vibrant spirit. If you visit, pause beneath the shade trees, watch the city rush by, and remember, even in the busiest places, there are moments held still. Pershing Square is a reminder that the heart of a city beats strongest where people come together. Water is the hidden thread weaving through Los Angeles, invisible yet vital, like a secret pulse beneath the city's skin. Welcome to the Los Angeles Aqueduct. Stretching over 200 miles, this engineering marvel carries life from the Owens Valley deserts to the thirsty heart of a growing metropolis. Completed in 1913 under the watchful eye of William Mulholland, it transformed Los Angeles from a dusty outpost into a sprawling, shimmering city of dreams. But the story is complex, a tale of ambition, conflict, and consequences. The aqueduct's construction drained the Owens Lake, turning fertile land to dust, displacing communities, and changing ecosystems forever. It's a reminder that progress carries a price, and water, so precious, is never without story. Today, you can stand beside the aqueduct's concrete channels, listen to the water's steady flow, and feel the weight of history moving beneath your feet. If you visit, bring water with you for the journey and the reflection. Consider the lives touched by this flow, the dreams carried along its course, and the future it shapes. The aqueduct is not just a column of water. It is a river of hope and caution, coursing through the veins of a city that never stops reaching. The 110 highway is more than asphalt and overpasses. It's a ribbon weaving stories of movement, connection, and change. Welcome to the 110 highway, known as the Arroyo Seco Parkway. It is California's first freeway, built in the 1940s to bridge Los Angeles to Pasadena. Its curves follow the natural contours of the Arroyo Seco Canyon, a riverbed and corridor long used by native peoples, settlers, and travelers. Driving here is like reading the city's history, past and present flowing side by side. Beneath the roar of engines, there are hidden tales of early commuters who first marveled at the speed and freedom this road promised, and of neighborhoods shaped and reshaped by its course. If you travel this highway, notice the way it bends with the land, how it carries the pulse of a city forever on the move. Be patient, drive carefully, and remember that highways are lifelines, paths carved through earth and time. The 110 is a reminder that journeys shape us, and the road is never just a road. Mother's Beach is a quiet embrace, a sheltered cove where water laps gently against soft sand. Welcome to Mother's Beach, nestled in Marina Del Rey. This beach is a haven for families, toddlers taking first steps in the surf, and those who seek calm away from crashing waves. Its protected waters invite play, laughter, and small moments of peace. Though small, Mother's Beach carries stories of community, of neighbors watching over one another, of traditions passed down through generations. If you visit, come barefoot. Feel the warm sand beneath your toes. Watch as children float on colorful inflatables, their laughter ringing clear. Bring a picnic. Stay for the sunset, and let the world soften around you. Mother's Beach is a reminder. Sometimes, the gentlest places hold the deepest calm. Hermosa Beach is a rhythm, a pulse of waves, laughter, and sun-drenched afternoons. Welcome to Hermosa Beach, a place where volleyball nets rise like flags, and boardwalks hum with the footsteps of locals and visitors alike. The ocean stretches wide and wild, its salt spray weaving through the air like an old song, long before surfboards and skateboards. This land was home to the Tongva people, who lived in harmony with the sea and sand, their stories carried on the breeze. Hermosa grew in the early 1900s as a seaside escape, a gathering spot for families and musicians, with piers that sang in the moonlight and bars alive with jazz. Today, the beach is alive with energy, fishermen casting lines at dawn, cyclists gliding past palm trees, and sunsets that set the sky on fire. If you visit, rent a bike, feel the sun warm your skin, listen for the laughter carried on ocean breezes, and pause to watch the tide roll in. Hermosa Beach is more than sand and sea. It's a story of community, resilience, and joy, written by every footstep on its shores. Venice is a kaleidoscope of movement and color, a place where art spills into the streets, and every corner hums with restless creativity. Welcome to Venice. Founded in 1905 by Abbot Kinney as a Venice of America, this beachfront community was envisioned as a seaside resort with canals, gondolas, and grand promenades. Though many of the original canals were filled in over time, the spirit of water remains. In the rhythm of waves crashing, in the reflections of sunsets over the remaining waterways, Venice is a collage of contrasts. Musicians play beneath palm trees. Street artists paint murals bright as dreams. And skateboarders carve their paths at the famous Venice Skatepark, a haven for daring and grace. But beneath the vibrant surface lie stories of struggle. Venice has long been a refuge for the unconventional, from beat poets to punk rockers, and more recently, artists pushed by rising rents and change. This is a place where community has been fought for, a neighborhood that refuses to be silenced. If you visit, walk slowly, listen to the ocean song, watch the spontaneous dance of life on the boardwalk, respect the spaces where creativity breathes, and remember that Venice's true beauty lies in its resilience and soul. Here, every moment is a brushstroke in a living masterpiece, wild, unfinished, and utterly alive. Pasadena City Hall rises like a dream from the earth, a graceful blend of Spanish Renaissance and Mediterranean revival, its dome glowing warmly in the California sun. Welcome to Pasadena City Hall. Since 1927, this architectural jewel has been the civic heart of the city, where decisions shape lives and the community gathers beneath its arches. Its grand staircases and tile murals tell stories of a city proud of its past and hopeful for its future. But beyond its beauty lies a lesser-known story, the careful planning and civic spirit that built Pasadena's character, balancing growth with grace, history with progress. Walk the grounds in quiet moments, listen to the echo of footsteps in the corridors, and watch as light plays through stained glass, painting colors on polished floors. If you visit, pause in the courtyard, let the architecture speak to you, and feel the pulse of city held tenderly in stone and story. Pasadena City Hall is a reminder that places can hold more than history. They can hold hope. Studio City hums with the steady rhythm of creativity, a neighborhood shaped by the dreams and labors of the entertainment world. Welcome to Studio City. Nestled in the San Fernando Valley, this place was once orange groves and orchards before the rise of studios like CBS Radford that transformed it into a hub for film and television. The quiet streets hide stories of actors, writers, and crew who have shaped pop culture from modest sets and sound stages. Yet, beneath the glamour, Studio City remains a community with local cafes, parks, and neighbors who know each other by name. A lesser-known tale here is the legacy of the early studio's water wars, battles for resources that shaped the city's growth and its people. If you visit, take a walk along Ventura Boulevard, stop at a local bakery, and feel the pulse of a city where stories are born and shared. Studio City is a reminder that behind every bright spotlight, there are countless unseen hands crafting the magic. The city stretches out beneath the endless sky, a mosaic of light and shadow, hope and history. Los Angeles is not just a place. It is a feeling that moves beneath your skin, a restless pulse that carries stories in its breath. From the quiet cliffs of Rancho Palos Verdes to the riot of color on Venice's boardwalk, each corner holds a memory, a secret, a moment waiting to be lived. Here, dreams are forged in sunlit streets and whispered in ocean breezes. The city's heart beats in the footsteps of strangers and friends, in the laughter of children on Hermosa's shores, and in the silent vigil of Royce Hall's towers. You've walked its hills and waters, felt its wildness and its calm, tasted its light and shadow. Now, as the day folds into night, remember this, that travel is never just movement across space. It is a journey through time, memory, and meaning. Los Angeles is many things. A story of growth and loss, of beauty and contradiction, of relentless hope. But most of all, it is a place that invites you to listen to the city, to yourself, to the quiet truth beneath the noise. You are the traveler now. Thank you for traveling with me through Los Angeles. May your journey continue wherever your heart leads.